Coming from a big and a well-to-do family, I seem to have everything a girl child could ever want. Plush toys, great clothes, a lot of cousins to play with, loving parents, grandparents, uncles, aunts, and the list goes on. However, today, as I stand in front of the mirror, something seems to have rendered me weak in the knees. The mirror today seems to reflect entirely another person. As I run my hands beneath my eyes, a dewy drop of water trickles down from these reddened eyes. A dreadful impression is left by the burly hand that grasps me by the wrist. I searched for my lost soul around, but in vain. I seem to be hallucinating. The ground seems to slip from underneath my feet. The wall behind was the only thing supporting my fragile frame. Sitting in that lonely corner of the bathroom, flashes of those vivid memories start flooding back. Moving towards my house, a car stops my way. Angrily I shouted and fought, but I was fragile in front of those monsters. And in seconds, I'm among strange faces in the car. Deserted roads and dim lights are what you always see in cases of abduction. This, however, led me being pressed against the car seat. Strange hands running across me. Everything went upskirt from there. I remember instances where I had been screaming in dire need of help, struggling to free myself, struggling to breathe. I was in a state of helplessness. I did not know what to do. That strange person, with a soul just like the color of his clothes, black, came beside me and took a picture with me in all that state of helplessness. Such immorality would shatter even the most hardest of hearts. I spot my cell phone. Involuntarily, I dial a number. All consciousness leaves. Tossed on the road, my breathing raged alike the state of my clothes. A knock on the door draws me back to the present. Present, where my soul refuses to come back. Ma, I could see how helpless she was, just as my soul was. I pleaded her again to help me take action. But all she could helplessly say was, "You know what your father said last night." It is suffocating knowing that your loved ones won't support your need to get those immoral and cruel people caught. My mother, she tried to help me get some sleep, but those horrifying thoughts did not allow me to sleep. Sitting in my room, staring into nothingness, everything seems to dissolve. The beside clock says it's 7:19 p.m. I wake up. with a start. Wrapped up in my fear, I start withering with sweat encompassing me. My eyes start leaking just when it all starts coming back to me. Once again, failing to overcome that feeling, fear and insecurity. I was unable to move and kept staring fixedly into the void. Moments later, gaining my composure, or something that can even remotely be treated as composure, my fragile frame hinted some movement. Sitting in one corner of my bed, flashes of those hands running along me, touching, come to mind. The phone rang, my mind races. 7:36 p.m., just seconds later. I hear the voice of a person on the other line. Suddenly, there were emotions surfacing, eyes brimming with tears. What has happened was inquired by that soothing voice. My beloved teacher reassured me, supported me, and said she'll help me. I looked at my scars. I was horrified, scared, and weak. But I had to take an action. For me, for my soul. My teacher accompanied me to the police station and the complaint was registered. It was a month later when the rapists were caught and sentenced to death. And finally, my soul had some peace. Through this short film, we have tried to depict the two contrary sides of progress today. On one hand, it is progress that some girls today are not succumbing for societal pressures and are becoming more and more aware and are not afraid to speak up. And yes, progress does has its own means, where two people from the same generation have two different mindsets. A father who fails to support her daughter in the name of family honor, and a teacher, a lady who goes against all the traditions and stereotypes of the society and helps her student in all ways she could. But looking to the other side, in spite of all this worldly progress, humanity has not progressed as much. On moral grounds, people today have lost a sense of empathy and give into their selfish motives without thinking twice.